Welcome to Reading Sprints. As you can see, I'm not on my own this week. I'm joined by Alex and Aislinn. Alex Foulkes, who I'm really sorry if I've said that wrong. Your two names are still two of the most difficult for me. Alex Foulkes, have I got it?
You got it. That's me.
The author of the brilliant Rules for Vampires books, who's working on other exciting, spooky middle grade things. We've got Aislinn O'Loughlin. Yes? No? Loughlin?
Yes, close. O'Loughlin.
Okay, Loughlin. Okay.
O'Loughlin. It is a hard one.
Slightly better than calling you Aislinn or whatever I called you for the first little while that we knew each other.
I like that. It sounded so pretty.
I mean, you know, I am
Aislinn is a great fantasy name.
Well, I learned to read. My parents love embarrassing me with this, that I think I like read as early as I was talking, basically. So a lot of the words I learned to say were suspicious at best because I just found that from books. So I had to go on a carousel at the fair. My mum was like, "What is a carousel?" Oh, carousel. Got it. Riding the Elskandators with my mum. That was another good one. No. So I've still obviously not matured like 30 some years later.
Never change, Amy.
Yeah, I know. I mean, at this point, there's no point. I'm kind of embedded in my kind of quirky self, and sort of.
And like Alex said, you get some great fantasy words out of the mispronunciations, don't you?
Yeah,
exactly. You know, I'm reminded of the time that my stepmom called a bottle bank a battle bunk.
Battle bunk.
She'd absolutely kill me if she knew that I was sharing this. And then there was the park arc as well.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mum's quite good at those as well. But my mum is the mixing metaphors person. She'll like bolt the stable door after the dogs run away or something. I'm like, is it a horse? No, mine's a dog. I'm like, okay, fine. A dog in a stable, it's all fine. So you can see where I got it from now. I've got no chance when this is the team I'm working with.
It's genetic.
Yeah, genetic quirkiness.
My sister was good with them. She came out with them. I was trying to blame her for something, and she's like, "Don't make me your getaway sheep." And I was like, do you mean scapegoat? I could completely see how she done it. She got this image in her head of someone like getting away on some kind of farmyard animal. It just became getaway sheep instead of scapegoat. So we use that.
I feel like me and Alex are both writing that down, ready to steal for some characters at some point.
The getaway sheep.
I love it.
She'd kill me if she knew it said that.
That would be a really cute picture book, The Getaway Sheep.
Oh, Lord. Somebody write that, please. Awesome. So, Aislinn, what are you going to do during the sprints tonight?
I'm going to be working on my work in progress that I have to get to my agent at some point. So very, very happy to have this to push me along on that. I've been doing in the comments for the last couple of weeks as well. I've been working on this, and I'm definitely way more productive when I'm here.
It's funny, isn't it? Asking that question to an author, and they sort of pause while they think in their head, "What am I allowed to say about this?" Okay, go. I did the same thing to Naomi Gibson. I interviewed her the other day about her new book, Game Over Girl, which is awesome. And I asked her at the end what she was working on. She was just like, "A book," and she kind of had like got into it. But dangerous question. I'm going to ask you, Alex. You've had preparation to think about it now. What are you working on? Something?
Well, well, yes, I can tell you absolutely nothing.
Is it a book? Are you writing a book? Are we safe to assume?
Yeah, so I can tell you. So I'm working on a new middle grade project that is not Rules for Vampires.
Yay!
Yes.
Exclusive right there, everyone. I'm sure that's brand new news.
Hot off the press.
We'll see if we can get any more out of her as the evening goes on. Yeah. Remember, this is not one of those that my husband can edit away, so be careful.
My daughter is going to be simultaneously terribly excited and absolutely gutted that you're working on something that's not Rules for Vampires, because she's a massive fan.
I saw, you know, that really, really warmed my cold heart, I gotta say. And you know, you can tell her from me that I absolutely am going to be writing a third Vampires. In fact, I've already started it. It's just I've had to put it down while I've picked up this other thing. But if she has enjoyed Vampires, then she will 100% enjoy what's coming next. And my hope is that, you know, maybe Vampires 3 to sort of, you know, round off the story. I I haven't lost hope. It's a bit of a blind hope at this point, but I think you never know. It could see its day if everyone out there goes out and buys 100 copies of the book.
I'm going to put you in charge of that mission. Get a mobilizer class to buy 100 copies each.
That would be great, and then we could make a fort out of them. It would be wonderful. Yeah, we'll see. Simon and Schuster are never saying never, but
it's so hard, isn't it, with publishers? They've all got their own plans, haven't they? And sorry if you can see a hand coming across the scene. It is my husband dipping his chocolate biscuit in my cup of tea because he doesn't really drink. So sorry, Kev, but I just thought I'd better give some context to the sort of hand sneaking into camera. It is for not too nefarious purposes. He sort of has permission. Okay, I'm going to see who's in the comments because there seems to be a lot of them popping up. Hi, Stephen. Oh, so Stephen may not be here yet, but is getting in there early. Hi, thank you for joining us. I mean, Aislinn, you sort of perpetuated this rumor. I feel like others have said it. We are all kind of pale. Like, it is night time.
And I'm clearly like lurking in a basement somewhere.
Whose basement though, Aislinn?
Yeah, I know. I was just thinking that if we hear things like somebody banging, like being let out of the cell, like you'll just not be surprised.
It's not going to help. My cats are fighting over in the corner here, so that they are running around and thumping and squealing. So
Werewolf, yeah.
Did I just promise and cross my fingers? I promise it's my cats.
I mean, I suppose you're 50-50 though. You're like werewolf or vampire territory. I haven't fully decided for you yet. I mean, could go either way, couldn't it? Really.
Mm-hmm. Or possibly.
Like, well, I was going to say, Vampire Diaries would have you believe it's possible to be both. So aspire for that.
Why not?
Hi, Lizzie.
Hello.
Lizzie. I don't know what Bluebird is, Lizzie. Tell us. Do either of you know what Bluebird is?
No, I don't.
Mystery.
No. Tell us all about it.
Steve can convince us to read it. Oh, no worries, Kirsty. We've just been gossiping for the past 2 minutes. We will do some sprinting at some point, I swear, everyone. Oh, I still haven't read those.
Ooh.
That's a good New Year's resolution to have, Hannah. I'm trying to read a bit more fantasy this year, so I'm with you on the genre fiction front. Have either of you read the Becky Chambers ones?
No,
never had the pleasure. I do really love sci-fi, but more Hitchhiker's Guide and the Red Dwarf novels and things like that. So
absolutely.
kind of like naughty sci-fi,
silly sci-fi,
cheeky sci-fi.
Yeah,
I did love Mindwalker by Kate Dillon. I was obsessed with that. That was very. I don't know if either of you have read that, but that's very like it's sci-fi, but it's like Marvel movie sci-fi type thing.
Oh,
and it was a lot of fun. And Naomi Gibson's books kind of verge towards sci-fi, don't they, with the techiness?
Yeah, I said that when I interviewed her. I was like, "Your YA, sci-fi, romance, thriller." I was like, "What are we calling it these days?" Like, it's kind of all that. Yeah, I like that kind of speculative, like Naomi's stuff. That's like a step beyond the possible with virtual reality and stuff like that. I find really cool. I did really like The Loneliest Girl in the Universe, Lauren James's, one of her earlier YA sci-fis, about a girl who is on a spaceship on her own in space, like reading fan fiction and kind of dreaming about a world, and then somebody starts talking to her who may not be a cute boy on another spaceship, and you just don't know. It's kind of like a catfishing story. It's like, is he who he says he is? That
really sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's really good.
What is that called, Amy?
The Loneliest Girl in the Universe. I think you would like it. It's got like a narrative, but then bits of social media in there. And Lauren's written loads of stuff that kind of bends genres really nicely, but that's one of her. I don't know whether it's not her. It's not her debut. It was one of her earlier ones, I think. Hi, Caroline. Oh! I'm glad you reminded me of that. I still haven't read the books. Have either of you read or watched the You stuff?
No.
I've watched it. I've watched the first 3 seasons, and I do want to read it. I think it's supposed to be quite different with the books. But yeah, I really enjoy it. Definitely disturbing how much you wind up rooting for this.
Completely. Like he's a stalker turned murderer. Yeah, and you're just like, come on, don't get caught. It's the same as, did you watch Dexter? I was always
yes,
I love Dexter. Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
genius. I think Dexter's probably I like even more than You, because that's kind of one of my all-time top shows. But yeah, You is really good. This Book Kills. Oh, I have that on my Kindle
need
to
to
read.
read some of that.
Yes, I'm
wonderful.
excited. Let us know what you think of it so far, Kirsty, because it sounds completely my thing. Like YA murder mystery, set at a boarding school. I think a girl writes a story and then somebody ends up being killed in this, like the way it happens in her story.
Yeah.
Oh, you are here, Stephen. Hi. I wasn't sure. I didn't want to assume from the previous message. Yeah, I mean, I do keep hearing about them. I think I started reading one once and just wasn't in the mood for sci-fi, so I kind of put it down, but not necessarily because I didn't like it. So I probably need to try it again, because I think it's sci-fi, but sort of quite accessible and people and relationship driven. Ooh, okay. The descriptions sold me a little bit more than the title. I'm not going to try and pronounce that author, though. You know my pronunciation. Do either of you two want to have a go? That's Ciel?
Ciel
No.
Pierlot.
That sounded convincing.
That sounds right.
That sounded very Trebien, didn't it?
You make it sound French, so let's go with that. If it's not French, then we're kind of in the wrong territory. But yeah,
I am so sorry to this author, because I have a really difficult name to pronounce also. I understand your struggle.
Yeah, I mean, my name isn't that difficult, but I do get the occasional person who goes McCall, and they're not really sure where it ends. McCall.
Really?
Kev gets Macau quite a bit as well. I think, when people
Macau?
read it, they're trying Macau, they're trying to cold call you, Mr. Macau, and he's like, no, it's not. Hang on. Hi. Oh, excellent, Kasha. I can't believe that you do like a full-time day job and then for fun / extra work, translates TV shows. Very, very
My
clever.
God, props to you, as someone who is, who has watched a great deal of fan subtitles for TV shows and things. Thank you so much. You are a hero.
Massive linguistic skills there. Yes, it is really good. I'd say if you're not sure whether you like sci-fi, but you do like kind of contemporary thrilling YA, to definitely try that one, because it's a good.
I'm so
I mean, I love how you find these comforting, Kasha. It's like a little bit of murder and serial killing is pure comfort food for people like us. Like I watched I Know What You Did Last Summer if I need a little pick me up, or Urban Legend or Scream. Like, it makes me feel happy, a little bit of kind of light-hearted murder. On the note of light-hearted murder, maybe we should go and do some writing or reading. So I don't think I mentioned what I'm doing. I am plotting out something that I'm really excited to write. And I'm at that point where I really want to start writing it, but I'm resisting because I feel like I need to know a little bit more about what it's about before I just throw myself into it head first. So I'm plotting, but if you see me start kind of cackling, it means I've gone rogue and started writing it. So please rein me back in, because I need to plot it. I wrote a little, I've written a pitch for it, so I've got this much of a synopsis to go on that I really need to make kind of a bit more substantial before it becomes a book. Okay, there's no more comments. So if you let us know in the comments what you are planning to do in the sprint, we are going to do 40 minutes, have a bit of chat, 40 minutes, then half an hour. You two, as always, feel free if you need to go at any point. You can kind of give us a wave and say bye, or you can stay with us till the very end. It usually ends about 10 o'clock, depending how chatty we are. So could be a little later than 10 with my two lovely friends on screen with me. Because we do like to talk, let's be fair. As you can see from the start time, we're sprinting 15 minutes in. Yes, let's get the kitty up. Beware, I'm really sorry for our kitties in the room. Be mindful the kitty will meow at you in 40 minutes' time. It's the only way I can stay focused, have that cat giving me looks that I need to concentrate. So I'm going to mute everybody and we'll see you on the other side. Hello. Totally wasn't ready then. Just got completely engrossed in what I was reading, which is my own writing, so that can only be a good thing. For the cat jump, I'm just going to take this banner off and then we will find out how everybody did in the comments. So do you want to start us off, Alex? How did you get on during the sprint?
Yes, I'm just finding my word count. You know, when you just sort of scroll back and highlight what you've done. Okay, the verdict is 643 words. That is not too bad for me. I'm not the fastest, but I'm quite happy with that.
Yeah, you get to the end of a brilliant book. So however you get there, and I think the first sprint I always write the least, and then the second one I tend to I think pick up the pace. You spend a lot of the first one like figuring out where you are. That's what I just done. I just got into it, and then it kind of made me jump out of it because I was saying to my husband already, like, when do you think it's too soon to start writing it? Like, I know what the beginning is. Can I just write the beginning? Do you know what the ending is yet? I sort of do, but I don't know how to get from point A to end. I managed to. I've kind of got now 11 pages of plotting ideas, so I'm just trying to shape them into something that makes sense and isn't just a jumble of this needs to happen, this needs to happen, this needs to happen, is all I've written. So the beginning's looking pretty good, but the rest is not. How about you,
That sounds good to me.
Yeah, I mean, it is something, isn't it? Where did you get up to?
So I didn't do as well as Alex, but I got 500 words, and I'm almost at the end of this chapter. I think I'll get it finished in the next sprint. So yeah, I'm happy with it. It's one of those awkward, tricky bits to write, you know, where somebody has to realize something is going on, and it's, you know, it's not just like a fun action bit or fun dialogue. So it's been driving me a bit nuts for the last couple of days. So I'm happy to be getting to the end of it.
Yeah, it's weird the stuff that flows, isn't it? And the scenes that you aren't enjoying that you kind of expect to. I mean, I've started doing a thing that my friend Mia told me about where she would like bullet point stuff that wasn't working and just write this scene is meant to happen here and not actually write the scene. And I found that quite freeing. Although I did come a bit unstuck when my agent wanted it and I realised there was a scene I'd forgotten to write and had to hastily write it. But apart from that, I found that good because I used to spend like weeks writing a scene being completely stuck and not realise that I could actually just skip it and write a placeholder. And I've done a bit of rubbish writing this time as well because I am a bit of I like it to all be good on the first draft, so I make it good as I go along. But I've done quite a bit of just writing. The story is correct. The descriptions are terrible. I did warn my agent that, but she's happy to read it anyway. So yeah, it sounds like we're all doing well. I feel like you two could have a little bit of kind of friendly competition in the next two sprints. Like Alex's yawn isn't a good sign. I feel like you might beat her actually.
I'm sorry, I just absolutely could not hold it in. Although, is it maybe trying to lure Aislinn into a sense of security? Maybe.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're drafting, you do your best work when you're kind of sleepy, don't you? Because your inner critic turns off and you can just flow. You don't overthink it. You don't try and polish it. So, like, if you're not too tired, that could actually give you an advantage because you can just...
Perhaps so. I hadn't thought about it like that.
I only ever write when I'm tired, so that's probably how it's happened because I can only write when Nathan's asleep, really. So he goes to bed and I'm already exhausted after having a full toddler day. And then I write. So yeah, maybe there's something in that. Although the other day I had like a whole day writing day and it was funny by the evening. I was like, oh, cool, I'll do some more in the evening. And I just couldn't. Like, I'd booked a day off work, so I thought I might as well use it to get some stuff done. And I must have had just a creative like shut off point. And I was like, I can't do any more. Oh, Alex has reached hers as well. Go to bed, Alex.
I'm so sorry. No, I'm good. I'm in the flow. We're going. Let's go. Let's do it.
Yawns do not mean weakness.
Exactly.
Let's see how people in the comments are doing. Secluded cabin sleep 6 sounds very intriguing. That is either a horror where everybody gets murdered or something really sexy. Tell us, Nicole, what is it? Do either of you have any idea?
No, I like the idea that it's something really sexy. Oh no, there are only 6 beds. It's like the only one bed broke, but like 6 times.
Oh no, we have to christen all of these beds.
I mean, I don't know.
And then we'll be murdered in them.
Well, it's just secluded. Secluded to me says murder, but then sleep 6. I'm like, maybe it's a sexy murder book. Nicole, please help me out. I think I'm floundering with this one. Han, you're doing all the things that authors do. You're refining the art of procrastination. You also need to make a Pinterest board.
Yes.
What else do you do? Like write a list of films and songs that your characters might like. That's a good one. Anything to avoid actually writing the book. Sounds like you're doing it correctly.
Absolutely. Put the kettle on, Han.
Yeah.
Good.
Awesome. Ooh, Kirsty is powering through her book. Excellent. Oh gosh, German to Spanish.
Wow, jawohl.
Very cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. I can't imagine the idea of having to translate something that somebody else has written and kind of maintain the story and the dialogue and keep it how the author intended. It's a really big ask. I'm very impressed, Kasia. Yeah, I mean, I knew it, Han. I knew it. I called that one. We're kind of similar creatures, aren't we? I think people who write, you've just got all this other creative stuff packed in there as well that you need to work through before you can actually get to the book.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or non-creative, if you're like me, there's other things like ticking, so many things churning through my head all the time. I don't care. That's why I don't sleep very well, I think, like because my brain doesn't want to shut off. It's no wonder my toddler's up in the night, is it, when he's got me from mum who's just like brain buzzing all day. So I was thinking about doing some reading, but I'm actually quite into my plotting, so I think I'm just going to plot tonight. But I am going to watch some TV in the last lot. Have either of you watched Ginny and Georgia on Netflix?
No, I haven't.
I'm having so much
Not
fun.
yet.
It's like a kind of, I don't know whether it's for teens or adults to begin with, but I want to say like cute teen series. So there's relationships and people dating each other, but then there's the darker side of teen stuff, like the after school special type stuff, like drinking and things. And then there's like a dark kind of murdery subplot where
that sounds
everybody has secrets. So I can't quite figure out what it is, but I really like whatever it is. It's quite dark and funny, and it's like, did you ever watch stuff like Heart of Dixie? If you haven't watched that, you need to. It's so cute. But you know, like that Gilmore Girls vibe of town where you get to know everybody, and it seems like a really idyllic place to live. And then there's this kind of dark undercurrent. I won't tell you which character is particularly dark, but it's really cool. I recommend it.
Oh,
so yeah, that's keeping me going every evening. I'm like, is it Ginny and Georgia time yet? Can we watch a bit more? Don't you? When you spend the day fantasizing about your evening TV watching, and it's been a while. I think Wednesday was the last time I had that. I really enjoyed Wednesday.
I really loved Wednesday as well. Yeah, it was great. I was kind of a little bit dubious after the first episode, but then I just leaned totally into it, and it was so good.
Yeah, I think
really enjoyed it.
The first 5 minutes where they were going to the school, I was just like, not sure about this. As soon as the family went away, I mean, nothing against the actors or anything, but I just needed the boarding school kind of immersive setting, I think, for it to work. You're nodding, Ashley. Were you watching it as well?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We went through like this phase before Christmas where my entire family, all the kids were sick constantly, and my oldest is 9, so she's just the right age to watch Wednesday. So I realized that like any younger and she wouldn't have been able to. So I realized that like I wasn't getting any writing done during the day. So we just spent our time while she was sick, just binge watching Wednesday while the others were at school. And it's a really, really nice, like sort of family bonding thing. I thought she might be weirded out by all the gore and the murder, but she was like, no, more please. Like the first time. The first time you saw like sorry, she is my daughter.
You must be so proud of her, Aislinn.
Incredibly proud.
What a little legend. Although actually, you know, this is probably why she's enjoyed Rules for Vampires if she enjoys Wednesday, because there's quite similar themes. When I watched it, I was like, wow, okay. Yeah. So, you know, particularly like, you know, the female friendship angle and, you know, complicated relationships with the mother and this, that, and the other. So yeah, it was nice. It's a really fun watch, and I'm excited for season 2.
Me too. I don't know when it's coming. They tend to be quite quick, Netflix, don't they, if it's doing well. So fingers crossed, we'll get it soon. Somebody else is loving Ginny and George too. Kasia, you see, Kasia is a good sounding board for stuff. Kasia watches everything. And it's that element of darkness I just think is really interesting. I like the kind of cute, cozy things, but when the kind of murdery flashback started, I was like, oh, I'm in this now. This is really good. And there's a teenage boy as well in it, who I think isn't a teenage boy. He's like in his mid-teens. And I kind of want to fan cast him as one of the characters in Mina and the Slayers, because he like rides a motorbike and he's got floppy dark hair and he's got the Christian Slater thing going on. I'm like, oh my God, it's one of my characters brought to life. He's like so well. It's really cool. So if I ever get any say, if they make that, Netflix TV series of Mina and the Undead that I'm still dreaming about, yeah, he's just got it. The problem is, like, Jason Momoa's already too old, so to play Jared, it's really sad. Yeah, do you ever do that? Do you ever like fan cast your own books?
Constantly. It's kind of my go-to way of plotting characters. Is like, I'll sit down and be like, I want this to happen, so who do I need to cast in it? And then once I've cast them, I can figure out how they play the characters. They tend to evolve as it goes, but yeah, I absolutely I fan cast them at the start. And I love when you're watching something and your characters just show up, not the actors, but like somebody shows up and looks exactly like your character, and you feel like they've walked out of your head and onto the screen.
Yeah, he's the closest where I went, oh my gosh, like he is exactly what I imagined. Like literally, like the mannerisms and stuff, it's uncanny. How about you, Alex? Do you use any kind of real people visualizing, or does it all come from your head?
Well, I mean, I think ever since Sarah Ogilvie sent over her kind of illustrations, sent over the illustrations. I'm sorry, I'm dozing a little bit. That just took over absolutely everything for me. I think I would absolutely love to see Rules for Vampires as an animation.
I was just thinking that
stop motion animation.
Yeah. I don't
that
know.
Would be really, really wicked.
Is it because it's illustrated, do you think? But I was just trying to imagine like actual people, and I got the illustration straight away, like really shadowy, kind of stylized.
I mean, the designs of the characters are so weird. Like Leo is like, she's very long and spindly, with these like really long arms and really long claws. So I think it would lend itself really, really well to claymation. I would love to see that. Sort of in I mean, Leica Studios, my absolute favorite film by them is Paranorman.
Yes.
If you guys have seen it,
I actually have. I love it.
Oh, it's so good, Amy. You would absolutely love it. It is so good. It's probably a little bit too scary for Litlin.
I was just thinking that stuff like that. I'm kind of inclined to just wait a few years, then I can show it to her,
and then enjoy it together. But I would love to see vampires done in that sort of style. Yeah, that would be really, really wicked with some, upcoming voice actors. That would be wonderful. If anyone's out there and you're watching this and you want to make it, the rights are still up for grabs. Please contact Caroline Walsh at David Hyam Associates. You can get the rights to vampires.
If you don't put it out there, you just got to do it, haven't you? What about you, Aislinn? Like for me, I think Netflix series is the thing. Like, do you have like a secret? Is yours the same?
Yeah, Netflix. Obviously, we probably need to go at like different stations or different streaming channels.
I mean, I would take Disney.
Both. People need me.
If Netflix want yours and Disney Plus want mine, I would also accept that.
Yeah, that would work. Because I need Sadie Sink in mine, so she tends to be on Netflix.
Oh, I love Sadie Sink.
Yeah.
How wicked is she?
She's wonderful. I love her. So she's getting too old to really be Evie the way I want her to be. But in my head, she is exactly. Because I'd written the first draft years before Stranger Things started, but then Stranger Things season 2 kicked off, and she showed up, and I was like, "Oh, that was one of those ones where the character walked straight into the screen." I was like, "That's her," and now there's nobody else. There's nobody else who could be her, except, I mean, obviously there is. If they want to, make it as a TV show and not. Obviously, there's plenty of people.
Oh, you're not like, don't rule it out, Netflix, just because I said that.
She is an absolutely wicked pick, though. She would be amazing.
Yeah, I wouldn't turn her down, to be honest, either. But Mina and Libby, like, were two of the first characters that came to me, and they were completely made up, so I never based them on anyone, and I've yet to see them either. I think young Ariana Grande, when I was trying to Google Mina for my cover illustrator, she was the closest I could come up with.
Oh yeah.
With kind of wild curly hair and stuff, but she still wasn't quite. Again, if she wanted to be in it, I wouldn't say no, but let's see what
She's going to be Glinda in Wicked, isn't she?
is she?
Yeah.
As in the film bit.
Yes. I don't know how I feel about it yet. I'm sorry to
Okay.
interrupt. Just with my musical theatre.
No, it's fine.
nonsense.
I'm also trying to process the information. I've seen Wicked quite a few times, just maybe 3 or 4. So yeah.
She's gonna be Glinda.
Do you know who's going to be Elphaba?
Elphaba looks absolutely amazing. Let me Google the lady's name.
I can't remember her name either, but I've seen her in a couple of things. She's got an amazing voice.
Cynthia Erivo.
Oh,
yes,
she is absolutely amazing. I'm sorry to say I saw her on Strictly Come Dancing, like she sang on. I loved it. I thought she was so good.
No judgment here. Like some of the stuff I've got obsessed with, like Bachelor in Paradise, that was probably one of my favorite reality TV show watches. So no judgment. It's all good here. We're all among friends. Chilling locked room thriller with 3 couples, according to Goodreads. Oh, so that's the secluded room for 6. So we were sort of right. I feel like there's going to be some romance and horror in there. So just a slightly, like, I don't know, intriguing title. It got us talking, didn't it?
Oh, that would be excellent.
Wow.
That's good news. It's a long time since I've read those. They're good fun.
I know a lot of people who are going to be very happy about that.
Yeah, that's going to be good on screen. I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Has Holly Smell done anything since those? I think she's been doing those until pretty recently, hasn't she? But
I think so.
They're very, very good. Okay, that's probably a good point. Talking about our dreams, let's go and get back to the actual writing them. If you want to chat to us about anything, let us know in the comments and let us know how you're getting on with the sprints. We will do another 40 minutes and we will see you on the other side. I was actually prepared for it that time. I'd got to a good point to stop where I didn't know what I was doing, so it's a good point to come back on here. Yeah, that was good. I've kind of pushed myself through. I think I'm about a quarter, a third of the way through the book now, knowing what's going to happen in it. So that's good. And then I've still got the list of incoherent things that come after then, but I think I can see a path through it now, hopefully. So that was a good night's work. I'm going to chill and watch Ginny and Georgia after this one, I think. How about you, Aislinn? Did you have a good slot?
I did, yeah. I think Alex probably has me beat on word count. I got another 300 words done, but that's because I got that chapter finished, and so it was that thing of finishing that one chapter and then switching point of view and trying to figure out what the next person was saying. So it was kind of a slower starting the next chapter, but I got that chapter finished, which is such a relief.
If you've got past that sticking point, that's amazing. And it might take you a beat to kind of think about what's going to happen next if you've been tied up there for so long.
Yeah, exactly. But it's
cool. Well done. Sprints work again. How about you, Alex? Did you have a good little session?
I think so. So I've managed 562 words.
Yeah, cool.
But not only that, and I know that you'll be extremely proud of me, I've just eaten a whole bowl of rhubarb crumble and custard, so I'm feeling pretty accomplished.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I didn't even notice that you were doing it as well. That was quite amazing.
I turned my camera off and I sneakily gobbled it and then came back.
Did you know that rhubarb is one of my core favourite foods? And if I see anything is rhubarb flavoured, I have to buy it, even if it's
really?
Yeah, like rhubarb flavoured drinks, puddings, like sauces on meats. Like I'll try anything with rhubarb in. Sometimes regret it. Like what did I get recently? I got something really disgusting in rhubarb. Oh, rhubarb pork pie. Don't do it.
Really?
Go ahead.
I'm not a big lover of the pork pie. I gotta say.
I'm a bit hit and miss. That was not a win for me. Rhubarb and pork pie didn't really mix. Yes, just to prove how much I love rhubarb to you, I tried a rhubarb pork pie. It didn't.
You were very brave. You took for science.
Sorry, I lost you on that.
You did an experiment.
Sorry, we lost you on whatever you were just saying about pork pies.
Can you hear me? Oh, I said it was for science.
Yes. I feel like many of the things that
there you
science.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to.
Sorry, what you going to say, Aislinn?
I'm gonna have to get more creative with rhubarb. My father-in-law grows it in his back garden, and they just live very close. So there'll be days randomly he'll just pop over with a bunch of rhubarb, and then I obviously have to stop whatever I'm doing and make a bunch of crumbles. But yeah, I'm gonna have to try some of this other rhubarb
sounds
pork
amazing.
pie. Maybe not the rhubarb and pork pie then.
No, I wouldn't recommend. Yeah, I mean, we just ate Marks and Spencer's salted caramel chocolate chip cookies, which can 100% recommend. And we were doing a scientific experiment. We just had the chocolate ones last time, and the chocolate ones dip better, but in your tea, because they kind of melt a bit more, but the salted caramel ones I felt tasted better. So there you go. More scientific investigations for the evening. That's my kind of science, I have to admit.
Delicious science.
Snacks against each other.
Yeah.
Holly did the Happy Girl Lucky series. Yes. Wow. Okay. I knew Holly would have been busy doing something. She's so prolific, isn't she? With those Geek Girl books, there were loads of them, and they just kind of came out at least one a year, didn't they? Oh, confirmed. Suspense mystery. Definitely. Thank you for confirming, Nicole. I do want to know, is it a little bit sexy, or is that just completely unintentional in the title? Because that kind of makes me want to read it more, to be honest. Yay, sprinty sprint. We're sprinting all over here. Although I'm slightly fizzling out with the motivation I'm going to watch TV. But the sprint will be going on. Hi, thank you for joining us. Awesome. Nice. Write Mentor is ace. If anybody doesn't know about it, I feel like I got my writing career off the back of that, because I got on the first summer mentoring program as a mentee, and got my agent not long after finishing that. It was very good to whip me into shape and make me finish by a set point. And then I ended up mentoring on it. So that was really cool. So yeah, if you are kind of aspiring to get something published, Write Mentor, a really good group of people to help you kind of push yourself on to the next step. Yay!
Yes.
I'm glad you're loving it. Have you read it, Aislinn?
Yes, so good. I binged it, I think, like a day and a half, which is really fast for me. I just didn't sleep one of the nights. I just sat.
It's really
Um,
good. I think you'd like it, Alex, as well.
Do you think?
Yes.
Recommend?
Yeah, it's scary, isn't it? It's a group of teens going to a school. They've met online and chatted, so you get to read some of the chat online. And they've decided they're going to try and summon the Midnight Man, who is like a creepypasta urban myth. And they're kind of running through the school, and you're trying to figure out, is the Midnight Man real? Is he not? And then
I
you get
am very much a creepypasta fan, I have to say.
And then you get
And
to read the kind of urban myths and stuff too in between, don't you?
And that's what scared me. Like, the Midnight Man is scary. That whole story is scary. But what scared me is every time I read another creepypasta and you can do this, I would find myself going, oh, should I try that? And I was like, what am I doing? Like, that scared me more, just kind of realizing every time I read something that I got this urge to do it, even though I'm literally reading about how terrible an idea it is to do this. But it's just so brilliantly done. And I haven't read anything that uses the multimedia that way, with the chucking in other legends and stuff like that. It's really interesting.
Yeah, it was really fun. Scholastic sent out candles with the early copies as well, and the thing was that you light a candle, then blow it out to summon the Midnight Man. And I was so tempted to do it while I was reading. Cynthia told me I wasn't allowed to. That it would not be a good idea, and I was like, maybe you're right, just in case. Like, maybe this shouldn't be my kind of parting plan in life, to summon the Midnight Man. Yes, it is so good.
It definitely helps you understand the idiots in Candyman who say Candyman 3 times in the mirror when you're faced with all this stuff, and you're like, I could try it though. Come on.
I mean, that is one of those things, isn't it? Like, when I was growing up, it was Bloody Mary. Like, loads of people used to say that in the mirror, like in the school playground, and they'd come out crying into the playground because they'd said Bloody Mary and thought she was going to get them. And I've never believed stuff like that, but also been terrified to do it. So I don't know. Yeah. It's very interesting, isn't it? The kind of psychology of urban myths. And I think at some point I want to write something about that, but I don't know what yet. I love the idea of like, you can probably guess from the stuff I've written already, like myths bleeding into reality is kind of good fun for me.
I've actually just realized I have here, completely by coincidence, this book that I got back from my parents.
Wow.
Book of urban myths. And there's lots of them. It's not all horror stories, but there is a big section on campfire classics. And it's got the ones like the girl sticking her hand under the bed to get the dog to lick it, and she hears the drip, drip, drip. Well, that's it. Yeah. This is so good and so spooky. I hid it under my computer here because my kids are trying to look at it because it's a comic book. And I was like, I don't care how into the scariness you are. My little 9-year-old, you're not going to read that.
No, it's funny, isn't it? My son, obviously, because he's 2, can flip through stuff that I'm reading, and I'm like, fine. But then I realized he picked up a Junji Ito comic the other day. I was like, no, don't I want you to see.
No, oh my god,
that brain.
We were talking about Junji Ito, weren't we, on Twitter the other day? Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean,
it's one of those things where you just can't look away, but at the same time, your brain is like slowly turning inside out, trying to comprehend what you're seeing.
Yeah. Don't read No Longer Human if you don't want to be pushed to the boundaries of comfort. And it's really dark, really
No
difficult.
Longer Human. I don't know whether I've
it's based on what is supposedly an autobiography, and I can't understand how it can really be, because if it is, then the author's basically confessed to murder, and not murder, but like getting people killed and not really caring about the fact that he did. It's very weird. And there's like lots of I've kind of got no-go areas, like to do with kids and stuff, and there was all sorts of stuff in there. It was really hard to read, and I think that's the first one where I went, I actually don't like this because it's so deeply disturbing. Whereas the things like Uzumaki, which is like a town taken over by spirals, anybody? It's disgusting and gripping.
It's too spooky for me.
Yeah, even saying the word Uzumaki, and Alex is like, no.
Just like, I feel like I'm turning into a spiral. You'll just see me spiral off into the background like this.
Alex.
Goodbye. Eyes popping out.
It's so funny because the phrase "a town taken over by spirals" should not be accompanied by that reaction.
No.
It sounds like something from Numberjacks.
Have you read it, Ashley?
No, I have not.
It's so
I want to
terrifying,
know.
and it's so like slowly insidious. It just creeps up on this town,
Yeah.
and then it's just too late. But it's a bit removed from reality, and I think my problem with No Longer Human was that it felt too close, like it was a deeply disturbed human, as opposed to a kind of monstrous or paranormal thing. So yeah, I found that one. I didn't enjoy it as much. By the end, I did get some stuff out of it, but it was hard going. Whereas Uzumaki Shiver, a short story anthology, it's really, really good and really scary. But yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? How you can really vibe with an author up to a point, and then you read one of their books and you're like, oh, that one wasn't for me. But maybe for somebody else, for every me that didn't vibe with it, maybe loads of people will get it, but I don't know. So I think, based on how rambly I am, it might be time to do the last sprint and for me to watch some TV. And so, are you two going to carry on writing, or have you reached your point?
I'm going to power through. How about you,
How-
Aislinn?
Yeah, I'm going to power through. I'm going to see if I
Join
can
me.
get to the point where it's kind of starting to flow in this chapter, because that's always a good place to leave it, rather than
Yeah.
at the bit where you're struggling and don't want to come back to it. So I'm going to see if I can get it to flow.
Good shout. We can do it.
Yeah. My favourite thing to do at that point is to write a couple of lines about what I'm going to write next as well. I quite like that as a reminder, because otherwise I come to it and I'm like, what did I do yesterday? Or even a couple of days ago. If I give myself a little prompt of this is what I want to write next and I'm excited about it, usually I do still feel excited when I come back. But
yeah, that's a good idea.
Try it and see. I'm going to change this one to 30 minutes just because it's usually a bit much, that 40 minutes right at the end. So we will join you on the other side. Thank you, everybody who's watching along with us, and we will see you in 30 minutes. Hello, we're back. Try and do that gently so don't make anybody jump any more than the kitty did. How did you get on, you two? Did you have a good final sprint?
I think so. Did you have fun, Amy?
Yeah, I did. I sewed Leatherface's face. I'll show you my little horror costume. I don't know whether you can see it.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
I'll just show you that this is the overall effect so far. I'm not sure if I'm holding it up right, but they're my little characters so far.
Oh, they're wicked. I love them.
I'm doing it very slowly. I'm doing like a little bit every now and again. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. So that's as productive as I got.
I love it.
So how did you get on, Aislinn? Did you manage to push through a little bit on that?
Yeah, a little bit. It's really messy, but I'm just sort of jotting down what I want to do and kind of skeleton, and hopefully when I go back tomorrow, it's going to be, it's sort of half your idea of a couple of lines, and also just very rough, very bad writing of the actual thing itself. But yeah, it's a mess, and I'm looking forward to coming back and tidying it up tomorrow.
How far into it are you, word count wise, your overall thing?
I don't know if we're having connectivity issues or not as far as I want to be.
What was that? Really far through and it's going really well? Yeah.
It's going so well. That's exactly what I said, Amy. Yeah, absolutely. Really far through. It's not like I have a whole draft of this written that is very, very, very bad. But it's the same basic story, but it's awful. So I basically need to scrap the entire thing and start again. So technically this is my second draft, in which case I'm doing okay. But it's also sort of my first draft and not going great. Kind of a combination of both of them. It's just, I like it. I know where it's going. I know it's going to be a good story, but just getting it there.
No, writing is really easy, I think, when you want it to be good and you care about it a lot. And you're a certain type of person. I think some people it flows out of them really easily. I'm definitely not one of them. I get stuck a lot and write slowly, and I think I accelerate as I go. So there is that. If you get to that point where you're in it, I think from about the 3/4 way point and the thing I've just finished, I couldn't write fast enough to get it out, which was a refreshing change from like pulling every word out like a tooth. But yeah, how about you, Alex? You're kind of like me, quite slow and steady through it, aren't you?
Yeah, most definitely. I think that we are all quite similar with that. But I'm really pleased with what I've done today. Seems to be like Aislinn coming to the end of a chapter. I'd love to get it finished tonight. I'm going to try and wrap it up after the stream, I think, and just see if I can start fresh with a new one tomorrow. That would be good. It's a good place to start, I think.
Very disciplined. I get to this time of the day, my brain's just like, nope. I tend to finish between 9 and 9:30 on an evening, just because I know that I can't function. And this is usually about the point that my toddler wakes up as well. So he knows it's time for bed, and I know it's time for bed. As well. So that might be a good moment. I don't think there's anybody else in the comments. If you've got any last things that you want to say to us before we go, I'm sure these two will be back in the not so distant future if you have any burning questions for them. But as always, thank you too. I love talking to you. It's interesting how I think some people I invite on the stream and straight away there's just a nice dynamic between us. That's why I kind of ask you two to come on together, because we all sort of clicked in our quirky vampire girl sort of way. So thank you.
Fun.
Yeah, and thank you for everyone joining us in the comments. I think I'm going to end it there. We'll let Alex finish her chapter. You two, if you want to hang around for a minute, we will go offline, and then like last time, we'll still be there. We'll go off the broadcaster, should I say, and the three of us will still be there. So thank you everybody for watching. I will be back, I think, next Thursday. I don't think there's too many days coming up that I can't do, but I'll always let you know if I'm not going to be here. But hopefully I will see you next week, and hopefully see you two on screen soon. A couple of people popping up say thank you. Thanks, Kirsty. I mean, yeah, you're welcome, and thank you too as well, because
thank you.
We need all the vampire books we can get, don't we?
We do. That's true.
And that's maybe a nice note to end on. So good night, everyone. Read all the vampire books. We'll see you.
Good night. Bye.
Bye.